How you doing, everybody? Jonathan here, and in this video I'm going to go over a very important topic, and that is how to deal with difficult clients. Now this is going to be important because training is not always a walk in the park, and here and there you get some difficult clients that can make your job hard, but I don't want them to drive away other clients, to ruin your business, or to make you want to quit, because I want you to have longevity in this industry. So I'm going to teach you, along with my buddies Danny from AxFit and Jono from Fitness Education Online, how to deal with this client. All right, we had this big old personal training venting session, and a lot of information that you're going to get from this, I guarantee will help you. So I'm going to take you over to that interview. But before I do, if you have not yet, make sure to click on that link up there and subscribe to my newsletter, as I send out short articles on how to see success in the fitness industry. If you just happen to stumble upon this video, click on the YouTube icon below and subscribe to this channel, as I make videos based on questions that I get the most. And as always, if you've already subscribed to both my newsletter and to YouTube channel, thank you very much for your support. And if you find this information in this video helpful, please click on the like button below the video player, because every like that I get helps this channel. So I'm going to take you over to that interview. We're going to drop lots of knowledge on you, and let's go.
Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the Bootcamp Blueprint, the place where personal trainers go to grow their bootcamp. I'm super excited because I've got my two bootcamp experts this week. Let's do a quick around the grounds. Who have we got?
How you doing, everybody? This is Jonathan Hurdlist. I go by Jonathan Fit Pro, and I love all things fitness and group training and business related and growing and enjoying what you do. So I enjoy what I do. I want to help you do the same. Happy to do so, and happy to be here.
All right, and I'm Danielle from AxFit. You can find me on social media, YouTube under AxFit. I'm from Canada, and same thing, love, breathe, sleep, dream, fitness, and business. And I love talking to these two every week. So this is the highlight of my week. So let's get into this one, Jono, and tell us about you.
Well, I'm your host, Jono, from Fitness Education Online, and we've got a very interesting topic this week. As bootcamp instructors, we've all got in a group setting, an array of different clients, right? And a lot of the time we get clients that are perfect. A lot of the time we get clients that are maybe a little bit more difficult or not quite our ideal client. And what's important as a bootcamp instructor is that we have a way to deal with those clients, because in a group setting, all it really takes is one bad client or one difficult client, and that can affect your whole group. So that's why it's quite an important, quite an in-depth topic, because it's not really one difficult client. That one difficult client can affect that whole group dynamic. So I think we'll start with Jonathan, because it was his idea to come up with this this topic. So what's your take, Jonathan? What do you do? You're running a boot camp and you've got a difficult client or two. How do you deal with that?
Well, I've been running the boot camp for 8 years. I've been personal training for like 15, 16 years now.
You started when you were 5, did you? Or?
You say what?
You started when you were 5?
Yeah, I don't age. But you know, you come across clients that make your job a little bit harder, and the goal is to kind of maneuver them so that they don't ruin your experience, because you have to enjoy what you're doing as much as they do. So let's just spitfire a couple things, because I would like to get Danny's input and Jono's your input on how you deal with these clients. So let's start off with, I don't know, what's really chaps me. Clients that always complain. All right. So let's say group setting, you know, maybe your clients are used to a certain kind of training, or they're used to your kind of schedule, whatever, and you decide to change things up to make things more interactive, more fun. But this one client, they're just like, well, I don't like this. I don't like how you do this. I don't like how you do that. This seems weird. I don't want to try something new. And I got clients like that all the time. And those are the clients that don't mind making themselves heard. So in terms of how I deal with them, I soften their complaint. I don't run away from it. I acknowledge it. And then I say, well, what don't you like about it? And then if they can't give me a sense-making answer, well then, honestly, I bury them in front of everybody, because I don't care. But if they give me a sense-making answer, sometimes these clients that complain a lot have a shred of good ideas, and then I acknowledge them, because sometimes they're just people that never get listened to, outside of the gym and they just want to be heard. So I acknowledge them, and then depending on the validity of their argument, I'll either, take a note of that or bury them completely until they shut up. What about you, Danny?
Yeah, I definitely call them out. Like I have a couple that, will complain about this or that, or sometimes like they're not even people that have been coming a long time. It could be someone new, and it kills the vibe and it throws off my training and my pump up, because I'm feeling like, oh, is everyone thinking this? And then you can like go from feeling like a hero to a zero really fast with your training if like you let people get into your head. So I definitely nip it in the butt, and then I know what I'm doing is good. So whatever they usually say doesn't make sense, and it's usually because they either suck at it or they just don't like it. So I do the same thing. I call them out and I'll be like, hey, yo, Johnny's complaining. We're doing an extra 30 seconds of this. And then I've kind of nipped it in the butt over the years that now no one really ever does complain too much, because they know like we're just going to have to do more. Or I've even told people like after class, I'll say, hey, like, I feel like, you're not really liking my training. Maybe this isn't the best suit for you. Like, what are you looking for? What do you like? Because I know there's a lot of great boutique gyms, trainers, whatever in the city. I can point you in the right direction. And I just say it that way because if they are killing the vibe, I don't freaking want them there. Like my classes are busy enough. I just direct them to go somewhere else. And if they're like, no, sorry, or some are like, okay, yeah, like what do you have to offer? Who else do you think? So I'm the same boat. You can't, and you have to acknowledge it. For any trainers out there, don't ignore it, because then you just look like, like inferior, or you can't handle it. That's my opinion as well. Definitely nip them in the butt and tell them to either like get out or make everyone do more. That's what I do too.
Love it. I'm similar to the both of you there. I'll go through my sort of overarching strategy, and then we'll get into more tactics and that. So the two things that I'll make sure I've got from day one on bootcamp is the support of every one of my clients, and also that awesome group dynamic, because that way there, it just puts me in such a power position. Like people are going to be so much less likely to challenge me if they know I've got 20 people there that love me. So that just puts me in a good position there. And then same with the group dynamics as well. They'll be less likely to challenge me if it's like, hold on, this is a really good thing going on here. I'm gonna think twice about challenging that instructor there. But it still does happen, and I use the same thing of what both of you do there. And also on the overall strategy side of things, as Jonathan and Danielle mentioned, like with my boot camp, it's my way or the highway, right? This is how I'm training. If you like it, great, come and fit in. If you don't like it, see you later, bye. Because I'm not going to change my training style to suit somebody else, because then I'm not going to be happy with my job, and then I'm not going to be able to give the best out of my session. The best way I can give my best is if I'm having fun, I'm doing what I love, and I'm sharing that love, and people that love that side of training will be attracted to me. So I'm not going to change my whole style for someone else. It's more my way or the highway. But in saying that, as Jonathan also said, a lot of the time there might be a smidgen of truth in their argument there. So I don't want to completely dismiss it. So what I make sure I do is I don't take it personal off the bat, because, sometimes it's easy to take that thing personal, right? Someone says a comment and you can get a bit defensive, and who's this person? I'm the trainer. So I actually don't address it seriously then and there. I'm like, all right, awesome. Let me see what I can do. I'll have a think about it, see what I can do. And then when I go home, I have a think and I sort of adjust. Hold on, is it something that's got validity, or is that just a complete joke? And then what I do to soften the blow a little bit is, if it's something small, I will implement that small thing in the next session, but I'll make a big deal of it, and I'll sort of look at that client and do it. So let's just say, for example, Jonathan might say something. If he's one of those difficult clients, he might say something to me like, hey, Jono, look, is there any chance we can do more burpees in the sessions, right? I love burpees. I hate burpees myself as a trainer, but maybe as a participant, Jonathan loves them and he asks for more burpees. What I might do is be like, all right, hey, I'll throw a few burpees in the next session, but every time I throw them in, I'm going to look at Jonathan when I say it, and I'm going to make a big deal that I've actually done something there. So to summarize that, I agree with both of you there. I've got a question that I can ask both of you as well, because this is one that came up in my group, and this is one I see a lot of as well. So as a trainer, what I see a lot of is you'll be running a group class, and there might be someone in that group class doing push-ups. Push-ups might be one of the exercise. And their push-up technique isn't ideal. They're doing it on the toes because they think that's the right way to do it, or they think they're challenging themselves. but doing it on their toes. They're doing like half reps, more pressures on their elbows than anything. Their back is arching a bit, bringing their neck into it. And a lot of trainers find it difficult to approach that client and say, hold on, you'll actually be better if you do it like this. Have you two got any tips for that situation there?
Yeah, because I was talking to Danny. I don't know if we were talking on this medium or just through Messenger. We were talking about recording workouts, and sometimes it's difficult because, no class is perfect, but, you might have that one person whose form is just so shitty. And even if you try to change them, they just go back to what they want to do. So sometimes you're just going to run into really stubborn people. But for the most part, I do my best effort to make sure that they're not going to hurt themselves. All right. So sometimes it helps if you actually do the exercise correctly and then show them what they're doing. Like, hey, it's supposed to look like this. You look like this. So in order to get there, let's meet somewhere in the middle. So in the push-up argument, then they may be open to doing it on their knees or protecting their shoulders a little bit more or increasing the rep length, whatever the case may be. But in a lot of cases, if I don't just say stop, I have to say stop to the person. I have to demonstrate, show them, and then maybe or hopefully they'll listen. Danny, what about you?
Yeah, you definitely, I'm always correcting form as much as I can. Sometimes I'll talk to the group instead of you got to read the crowd. Sometimes you have that timid person, you can't really, they'll feel embarrassed, but if the person can take it, then you can go and do it next to them or call them out. Some people I've had for 5 years, 8 years, I'll be like, Terry, you're still doing your push-ups like shit. This is how you need to do it. But sometimes it's just best to do for the group, be like, guys, before we get into this drill, let me just go over the push-up one more time because there's some new people and some of you old people, your old crew, your push-ups are still lacking. So, and then I'll show them as a group. And then some people that, are embarrassed, I'll talk to them after class and I'll show them, or I'll just get down next to them while everyone's busy. They can't tell that I'm doing it anyways. And then I'll go and I'll show them the proper form and tell them why. And then, I'll show them how they're doing it. And they're like, oh, really? I'm doing it that way. Because when you're a group trainer, most likely you don't have the big mirrors unless you're training in one of those studios with mirrors in a gym. But if you're doing your own thing and you're renting out a gym space or you're outside, there's no mirror. So they can't see it. So you have to kind of be their mirror. And then another thing I'll do is I'll go home and find a video. If I don't have my own, I have quite a few of them, but if I don't have my own, I'll find a really good scientific one that shows arrows and stuff. And I'll send them that through a message saying, here, do this, get in the mirror at home, practice your squat, your push-up, whatever. But yeah, it's definitely frustrating. And when you film a lot, some angles, my husband helps make the movies and he'll I'll be like, you can't use that scene like that. There's 3 people with an arched back. I'm going to look like a shitty trainer. And I get called out on YouTube often. People will be like, oh, you're a shitty trainer. Look at the guy in the green, his back. It's you know what? Sometimes you can't help it. You just try as hard as you can and you do the best you can, but you definitely have to hit it in some point. Don't ignore it.
It's so crazy, the training police that's out there. It's so much harder to train 20 people plus than people realize, but whatever. They can kick rocks.
Trolls.
What's your opinion, Danielle, in difficult clients? What have you experienced? How have you dealt with it? In general, difficult clients.
So sometimes you get someone that's talking too much. You get those people that are talking and they come in and they're talking and it ruins the vibe because some people come there and they don't want to hear that shit. So I always call them out every time, or I'll say, guys, today we're hitting it hard. I don't want you talking. If I catch you talking you're doing extra push-ups or you're staying, we're going to stay a couple minutes longer or this or that. You definitely, the talking bothers me. And a lot of times I find it's all the teachers in my class. I'm like, you guys are yelling at your students all day. And then you come here and you talk, especially when I'm giving my lesson. And then they go and start and they're like, oh, what are we doing? And it's always the people that have been with you a long time. And they just feel I don't know why, but that really bothers me more than anything. And I call them out and be like, all right. And then I feel like the annoying teacher, but I'm just like, guys, we're waiting on James, Lisa, you guys are talking. I hope none of my clients watch this because they're going to know what I'm talking about. But yeah, you guys are talking, da 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 da. So that really bothers me, people talking too much. And then sometimes you get okay, so, there's a lot of things popping up and, I always say to embrace competition. I'll be quick. This is a whole nother topic. I think we've talked about competition before, but someone will try F45 or they'll try spin or they'll try yoga for the first time. And next thing you know, like they're kind of putting that buzz in your class to other people. And it's like, and I recently got rid of some of my morning classes because I have twins and I want to soak it up, blah, 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 blah. So I got rid of a few mornings till spring. So I know that there's a couple people that like those mornings and the nights. So I know that, they might need that. But I hate when they're in my class and I'm training and they're supposed to be killing it in the drill and they're blabbing about like the spin class that they're obsessed with now. And it's happened many times. I've been doing this class for 14 years. People will go and they try it and Buddy will get, a rally up of my crew to go and they'll go for a few weeks and then it becomes boring because, they're doing the same thing or there's some kind of drama at the place and they fold. They always come back. And they're coming to my classes, but they're doing this other stuff. That kind of bugs me. And I try to embrace it and I do message or I'll say, hey, I'm glad you're doing this. Cause in the end, we want them to work out. We want them to get fit, but don't talk about it in the middle of my class. Talk about it before, talk about it after, fine. But while I'm trying to put you through a killer workout, don't be blabbing about the class you did that morning or that you're going to do tomorrow. So those are some things, I don't want to take up the whole thing, but the talking.
Can I piggyback that?
Yeah.
That's an awesome topic. Competition. Like in general, I think we learn to not worry about the competition of whomever else is out there, but it sucks when a client rather is like bringing that into your house, So I had one client, the CrossFit Games, she fell in love with it like 2 years ago. And then she thought she was going to be a CrossFit Games competitor. I was like, all right, well, fine. If you want to try CrossFit, do it. And, I kind of caught wind that she was like trying to drop it into the ear of other people in boot camp to come with her. And my clients were really loyal. So they really just, they said, nah, I'm good with Jonathan. But, that really irked me. And she had time left. Like she had paid for more sessions or weeks. So I just said, once I saw that she was doing that, you know what? Why don't you just start CrossFit now? And then I'll prorate the amount of money that I owe you. If you ever want to come back, then you can come back. But yeah, like you can't let people ruin the vibe. You gotta protect the vibe of your boot camp. And I can't think of any other situation people would do that where like you go to a restaurant and then you say, oh, hey, everybody, go to that restaurant across the street. You know what I mean? It's just weird. So yeah, it happens, but you can't take it too personally. You just have to protect your class, protect your business, the whole nine.
What about
one
talking?
more quick thing.
No, you go.
Are you in a rush?
No, I'm good. I've got about 15 minutes.
Oh, good. Okay, one more thing before I forget, because that's happened to me last Wednesday night. So I'm going back tonight and we'll see if it changes. But this guy, he came and we do the stair class. And Wednesday nights is like a 30-30, half stairs, half like body weight core kind of stuff. Because on Monday nights I have like full stairs for the full hour. So, and everybody loves having both. But this guy happened to come and he went a little early. He's in the stairs doing his own thing. And then and I pay for that time and they don't let anyone in the stairs but me and my crew because I've been grandfathered in, but he knows it's that hour. So he could go a little early, do his thing. This guy's been with me like 7 years. So he's there early. Then we show up. He doesn't even come to the group, say hi, nothing. I start the warm up. We do our class. And now he's in there doing his whole own thing the whole time and didn't join in. And that really hurt me and bothered me. And I went up to him and you can't ignore it because that's like going in a yoga class and standing in the corner and doing cardio on spot because you're like, I don't want to do yoga, right now. I'm going to do cardio in the corner, but like I have nowhere to go because it's cold out. So I'm just going to like use your space. Like it's so weird and rude. And like, I don't get it. So I had to say something to him and he felt really bad. And then I kind of felt bad that he felt bad, but then I didn't. And then he messaged me later and then I wrote him like positive saying, yeah, like, so you have, the main thing I think we're all trying to say here to trainers listening is you have to nip the stuff in the butt. This is we are heroes. We are trainers. We're badass trainers. So you have to like not let people take advantage of you. And him doing that was not cool. And I told him in a positive way, but I said, look, because it starts with you. And then what, next week or in a couple of weeks, there's 2 or 3 of you. And then before you know it, there's 5, 10 people making up their own thing because you don't feel like doing like squats and other drills. You just want to do cardio that day. So then what? I'm standing there like a dumbass and you guys are all doing your own thing, which would never happen because people love my training and same thing. They're dedicated and they love it and I'm good at what I do. But that really bugged me. What would you guys do with that? Would it bother you?
Well, I've got a few notes I'm going to jot down here from both of your things there. That I've never so much had the gym competition thing, but this is one I have experienced, Danielle, and that really pisses me off. It takes a lot to piss me off, right? because I like my boot camps to be so group-based and so community-based, that's the one thing that affects me there. If someone isn't being part of the group and they want to do their own thing there. Similar strategy to yourself, where I just nip that in the bud there. I also use like a strategy and this also goes back to the talking as well, right? Because that's the other thing that aggravates me too. If people are talking during the session, or if basically if they're talking the session, they're not doing the group sort of things. The two strategies that I use there, so I find I go two ways with it. I find, okay, if they're talking during the session, that can be a positive thing because they're getting to know each other and that sort of thing, but not when I want them to work hard. So I sort of say, all right, how can I merge those two things together? And that's when I throw in like my games and my partner activities and that sort of thing there. I'm like, okay, if they're going to come in and be chatting in that at the start, okay, how can I roll with that? How can I throw in some engaging partner exercises and games, that sort of thing at the start, so that they're talking a little bit, but so they're getting that talking out of their system, but they're still working out. And then when it gets to the main part of the workout, that's when I'm sort of like, all right, guys, we've had our fun, we've had our chat, now let's get into it. And that's when I up the intensity. And if I find that there's still chattering going on there, I put that on me as the trainer. I'm like, okay, what haven't I communicated properly? The chatting's been out of the way. So what can I do to stop that? Do I need to make the session harder? Do I need to explain myself better? That's how I deal with those things there. I've got one more topic I want to get through, but I'd love your answer on that, Jonathan. If someone's sort of doing the individual thing in the group setting. And this is like, we're talking like, it's not an injury. It's not like they've got an injury and they need to do an alternative. It's just straight up, we've said, hey, the exercise is squats and they're doing lunges.
Yeah. I haven't come across that too often. The only time I come across that is if I'm doing games. We typically do a warm-up. Excuse me. We typically do a warm-up, and sometimes I replace our typical warm-up with a game. Some people just don't like games. So in that instance, I don't let it bother me. But if it was a case like Danny's, I'd be pretty furious, honestly. I think she handled it perfectly. Like, you would have to ask, like, okay, what's going on? Like, why do you want to do this? Because you don't think that it won't turn into a trend, but it so can. It's like as soon as you give an inch, people just start to do whatever they want, and then you lose all control because you're one person and it's 20 of them. So as soon as I see it, I would address it. I would be like, hey, we really can't have this, or come on your own time, or do that elsewhere. So, like, I'd rather you skip the day than, kind of make it seem like, because they're almost like taking your authority from you, which I wouldn't allow. So I say take the Danny route.
Yeah,
one question.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you go.
Yeah, it's like I'm paying to use that space, and you're just coming in and doing your own thing, and it's really rude. I didn't like it very much. And you know what? Because then next thing you know, someone's bringing their dad who's too old to do it. So then, you can join. She lets anyone just do their own thing. And then they're bringing their kids and saying, oh yeah, she doesn't care or he doesn't care. So yeah, if you don't nip it, then they just think there's a free for all, and then before you know it, you've lost all control. Okay, what's the last topic?
All right. So this is one thing that I experienced. This is the biggest downfall I had with my business, where I built my boot camp up to about 100 clients. And then this happened, dropped right down to about 20. But then I was able to pick it back up again because I realized the mistakes. And I'd like to see if you guys have experienced this, and if so, how you've overcome it. And that's cliques forming. So what I had was I was able to build it up because I had a community. I had a community that got on like really well. I was able to build it up. But then what happened is that it turned more into a clique, where it was a tight group of about, say, maybe 15, 20 people. And then anyone else was basically like an outsider. And I didn't do a good enough job of then introducing them in there. Have either of you two had that problem where there's been a small clique that has affected the group dynamic?
I had that one time, all right, where I got a large number of people at the same time. And there was this one group of women that were from a town, Glen Ridge. There were like 4 or 5 of them. And then there was other group of women from Nutley. They all worked in the same salon, another 4 or 5 of them. And then it just so happened that one day I paired one Nutley woman with a Glen Ridge woman, and they just didn't vibe very well. And then after class, They were huddled up on opposite side of the gym, like plotting against each other. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, there's going to be like a brawl. So that's when I learned that you have to create new cliques. And this goes back to what we've been saying for weeks and weeks and weeks. But you get as much information as possible from everybody in your class, learning what they like, learning how they can connect with other people, and then helping to bridge that gap. Because if two people come in knowing each other, they're probably going to stick together. But then once you say, hey, you like cycling? You know, Brenda likes cycling too. So I try to create my own cliques. I've never gotten it so bad that it like ruined the class. There are still pockets of friends that stick with each other, and games help with that because I randomize the teams completely and they have to work with each other. So I haven't had too much of a situation, but the more that you connect people, the less of a chance of a hard click happening that can't be penetrated.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Danielle.
Yeah, I find like, yeah, this could be a whole topic. Maybe we'll hit it one day, but it definitely can happen because, you know, everyone comes to your class maybe with a friend or on their own, but eventually over years, there is that clique. And I have like that hardcore, like 15, 20 regulars that come to every class. They're always there. They're really tight. And, you know, before class, it's funny, creatures of habit, because these ones go to that side of the gym and put their stuff down in the same spots every single day, every single class, everywhere. It's so funny. And then, same thing. You got to always just like in class, saying everybody's name, partnering. Sometimes I make partners. If not, they're going to always partner with each other. And so I'll partner up different people doing the fun games or whatever. But yeah, you definitely have to build a community within them. And yeah, they can have their own little things, but like you guys pretty much said it all. Getting them to talk about similar things that people have in common, doing some outdoor kind of activities or doing like bowling or this or that, or sometimes we'll have a barbecue and everyone comes over. But you have to bring those new people in and make them feel welcome. And there's always like 2 or 3 really awesome, inspiring, motivating, welcoming people in your class. We all have like that guy or girl. I have Ronnie, and Ronnie's in all my videos, and he just is like embracing the new people. So I stick Ronnie on them, and I don't even have to anymore. He just does it. But like making them feel comfortable, and like they kind of know if you don't get new people in the door and it keeps going, then there won't be no boot camp. You can't just do it for that one little group forever. But yeah, that can happen. So you got to be careful with the cliques and embracing the new people and bringing them on together. Jono, what did you do to build it back up?
Okay. So this was basically what I had to do is that clique. I actually encouraged them to leave. I didn't say leave, but I basically dropped the support on that clique there because that's the only way I could see myself building back up, because any new person that come in was feeling intimidated. So I was like, hey, it's going to basically, for me, it's got to be one step backwards, and I'm going to encourage these people to actually leave, encourage the 5-10 clique that was still there, encourage them to leave, and then just build back up from the absolute basics with everything that I did to build it up to 100. I was like, well, hey, I know how to do it. I just got lazy. I stopped doing those things, and that's how this happened. And I think we do that as a topic on like how to build community, because I've got that down to a science, step by step. And I've also managed to implement that online as well. It's the same strategies that I use with my fitness education online community is the exact same I use to build that boot camp. But hey, guys, that's actually all we've got time for today. Can we just do like a 30-second finish up? If each of you two can just give us a 30-second finish up on the topic. Someone's got a difficult client, let them know 30 seconds on less what they should do. Jonathan.
You got a difficult client. Number one, you understand that everybody's an individual, everybody's important, but it's your boot camp, it's your money, it's your livelihood, and you have to protect it. So do your best to, meet the client at their need. But if you can't, because you can't save everybody, you can't be afraid to let them walk. You'll get another one.
Love it. Danielle.
All right. Everything Jonathan says, I'm saying right now. No. Yeah, same thing. He hit it on the head, or whatever the saying is, on the nail on the head. Do all that. But yeah, it's your boot camp. Take charge. And in the end, it's your happiness. We do these jobs because we like it and we love it, and we can build our own schedule and go to class and, be on top of life and inspire people. So you have to make it work in a way that is comfortable for everybody, and so they just want to be heard. So maybe just talking to them, sending messages, But yeah, Jonathan, you hit it. So I hope that, this helped a lot of the trainers listening today. I think we gave some good advice.
Yeah.
Good topic. Anyways, guys, that's all we got time for. See you both next week.
Bye.
Later, everybody. All right, so that's about it. I hope you found this video helpful. As always, if you want more advice on how to just deal with people, I definitely recommend that you pick up a copy of How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That's great people management skills, but I think between that book and the information that you just got, you're going to be a training virtuoso when it comes to the stuff that happens outside of the workout to make sure that you stay successful. Now, when it comes to what happens within the workout, in order to get people, in order how to train them effectively, in order how to keep people, in order how to make more money, get the word out, you definitely need the Dumbbells to Dollars course, all right? It is a CEU approved course to help you learn how to become a better trainer, a better group trainer, a better bootcamp trainer, start your own business, get it out there, build your own website. Everything you need under the sun is in that course. So if you've never checked out that course, all you have to do is go to www.dumbbellstodollars.com. You can learn more about this awesome course. It's helped hundreds of trainers, and I know it can help you too. So that's about it. I'm done with this video. Remember to leave a question or comment, because your comments are what fuel this channel. And as always, remember to eat healthy, hydrate, drive safe. Stress levels, okay, rest. Don't slap anybody. Love your clients. They love you back. I'll see y'all tomorrow or the next day, and you have a good one.